Hi, I'm Erin Svelgstein.
And I'm Gary Watts, and welcome to the Growing Tree Education Podcast. This is our first experimental podcast, but it should be pretty interesting, right?
Very exciting. We have a really great set of information for people today, especially parents going into the 2014-2015 school year who have heard about this Common Core thing, but don't really have a lot of knowledge about it.
So what we've been hearing from a lot of parents, I think, is that they don't know a lot about it. So the purpose of the presentation is to present what the Common Core is and how students can keep up with the material, as well as what they can do over the summer to be prepared for the Common Core.
Yeah, we want to help parents in as small of time as we can, because this can actually go on for hours and hours if you really want to talk about Common Core. But what Common Core is, what it isn't, and how it's going to affect your children immediately.
And what we don't want to get into today, I think, Erin, is we don't want to get into the politics behind all this, all the Common Core. There's strong supporters for the Common Core, and there's a lot of parents and teachers and students also against it as well. But what we want to do today is just lay out the facts, and hopefully you've seen the video that's also presented at the link below for the presentation of an introduction to what the Common Core is, presented by the Common Core.
Common Core, if you have been following it, has a lot of political background, but what we want to focus on is how this is going to affect your kids and how you can prepare them so that they don't have a year of falling behind. Because one of the big things they're saying about Common Core is that they're expecting 30% of kids to do worse than they were doing before.
So, Erin, where did this Common Core come from?
Good question. A lot of people think this is something that has just come up in the last few years. But when you look at the history of what's been going on in education in the United States, this thing goes back about 13 years. So if you have the slide, you're looking at the slide. Slide 1, the timeline. In 2001, No Child Left Behind started. And what that did is told states, look, you cannot have any kids go below proficient level. But what they did, they said, okay, states, so all the kids have to pass, but you get to set the standards. You get to decide what's passing.
So states are basically lowering their standards to get federal money.
Yes, they didn't want to say they were lowering their standards, but come on, if you have to get all children up to a certain level, either you change everything about the way you're teaching, or you make the teaching come down to where the kids are at. So what happened is we had states all over the map. We have states with really high standards. We have states with low standards. It's all over. So enter in 2007, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation started funding this panel that was coming up with the Common Core standards. So actually, when the Common Core was introduced was even before Obama was elected. Now, he came in and started the race to the top, the stimulus bill, so that now the states not only had to get all their kids up to a certain level, now they had to race to the top and all be the best. That's how you're getting your money now.
Like a performance-based.
Yes, it was absolutely performance-based, and it didn't work because that is not how you help people learn. And the goal of public education is to get kids ready for college. It's to get them ready to learn further. Well, if all you're doing is just drilling information into kids' heads so that your state can look good, they're not learning. So on the surface, the Common Core is a really great idea. I think what happened is things changed so quickly and moved so fast that people didn't have time to adjust. So even though Common Core was released in June 2010, we're just now seeing it. And I don't think a lot of people have been hearing about it for the last few years.
Good. Okay, so now we have this change with Obama and stimulus plan, and states all over the place having different standards. Common Core is coming back together. How many states have adopted this Common Core standard?
Most of them. Right now it is 45. I believe you have a map to look at, so comparing the standards, but most of the states have adopted it now. There's only 5 that haven't. So all the states are on board. And yes, they did get some money. They got a lot of money to become on board. So it's here.